Welcome to text number 4, Interactive Materials in Language Learning by Fabio Bustos. During this video you will find some tips and advices for developing speaking and listening activities. Here it is the presentation of our BLO. First, objectives. Second, listening materials analysis. Third, speaking materials analysis. Fourth, conclusions, and finally references. The main objectives of this video are to show you how to create new methodologies in order to apply this in face-to-face and virtual environments when we are practicing and learning listening and speaking topics. According to the readings, I have developed 5 advices for face-to-face and virtual environments when listening materials design. In this opportunity, I will show you the first 5 advices for face-to-face environments. The first one would be to focus on elements such as phonology, syntax, and lexis. This will allow students to practice their grammar, but at the same time practicing their listening. The second tip would be to have conversational interactions between listeners and speakers. In this way, the students will practice by hearing the other person and listening to other opinions, and at the same time they are practicing their listening. The third one is listening and reading lengthy lectures. Of course, it's important to read during and into the classrooms because this will allow students to practice more and more their listening skills. Then we have listening to audio recordings. Listening to audio recordings allows students to practice their listening processes because they are hearing foreign people. The fifth step is listening to some presentations. We can use some videos or maybe tutorials in order to give them to the students and they can practice by listening those videos. Now I will show you my 5 advices for virtual environments when listening materials design. The first one is to focus on interactive activities using technologies. We can make didactic activities through the virtual environments such as virtual conferences. We can apply games or online games in order our students can practice their listening. Second would be watching videos. When a virtual class is being in process, we can find some videos to show to our students in order they can practice their listening by asking some questions about the videos. Third step or third advice would be to listen commands and following them. Maybe by giving steps to students so they can follow the structure of the listening, because teacher will give some steps and students have to follow them. Fourth advice would be autonomous listening. Teacher will give the opportunity to students to select what they want to listen. Finally, according to that listening, they will have to give a final project about that listening. Fifth advice would be listening to poems, songs, or interesting readings. In this way, students will feel relaxed by learning and by practicing listening with some interesting poems or songs that they like about those interesting topics. Speaking materials design tips for face-to-face environments. Our first tip is to speak about interesting topics during the classes. This will allow students to practice their speaking by talking about things interesting for them. Second step is to discuss things or topics where fluency can be graded by teacher. By speaking about different things that students like to talk about, teacher will have the opportunity to grade them, to grade their fluency by speaking English. Third step will be reading in front of the class. Reading in front of the class It is a traditional educational process, but it brings a lot of benefits because in this way students can practice and give their opinions about any topic in front of all their partners. It is also important to give idiomatic speeches and lexical accuracy to students. We as teachers can develop some conversations in order to share them with the students. They will have to repeat those conversations and they can practice by speaking with their partners. That is a very good way to practice speaking skills. Fifth would be vocabulary practices. By learning vocabulary in English, we are also learning to speak in English because we will find some vocabulary in order to apply in our lives and then we can speak about it. Tips for virtual environments when speaking materials designs are developed. First step, improving fluency with audio exercises. By listening to foreign people, we can improve our speaking because we are going to repeat the way they speak. So we are copying the ideas and the fluency that the foreign people have. Second, practicing complexity scenarios when speaking. In virtual classes, we can ask about some real situations in life, like going to the bank or going to the park. We can develop new speaking details and we will have the opportunity to improve our speaking level. Third, expressing complex ideas. When asking some different questions about different scenarios through life, students have to complement and to add the vocabulary they have learned during the classes. And the only way to do that is to speak about any topic, about any complex topic that they will find very difficult. But in this case, we also are improving their speaking skills. Fourth advice, grammar and pronunciation. When we are in virtual environments, so we can improve our grammar and our pronunciation by using the technological resources. Fifth, video tutorials, native audio recordings, gaming online. Games are a very good opportunity to practice our speaking. In order to do this, we can create an activity, a didactic activity for virtual environment, and then we can ask some things about the activity, such as, did you know this game? Did you like this game? Why yes? Why not? So this will allow students to give their opinion about the activity that they just had. In this case, we are developing new speaking skills. During the whole course of materials design, we have learned how to develop activities. In this case, the first step would be the verification of students and the environments. So in this way, we can know which is the scenario we are going to work with. Then we are going to have a plan or a planification for it. Then we have to design the activity according to the verification and the planification that we had. Of course, the design of a material design must get the most important things such as technology, didactics, grammar, listening, speaking, reading and writing activities. Finally, we will have the opportunity to implement our material design. Following those steps, we are going to develop excellent activities for our students. Here we have the references for this workshop.